effortless endurance or effortless indifference. Going through the ascension symptoms, the phases, the enlightenment, the awakening, what I figured out is, so you go through influx of energy, brings things up, you get a taste of a state of being, grace, ease, flow, absolute clarity, where you can stand back, go, yep, this is what's happening there, you gotta do this, everything's good now. And then comes a point, okay, you've had this experience, well, the rest of you has to catch up to embody that experience. Because the rest, this what we call the subconscious, or the various aspects, which could even be conscious aspects, that cannot maintain that state of being, need to have experiences to bring them into that state of being. So we go through this and we look forward, oh, we could just see all the potentials, and this is what should be coming to us now, and it could be so easy and effortless to get into these better circumstances. But then it doesn't change immediately. We have aspects of us still drawing the circumstances that we're in, still anchoring us in them. And so we look around and we're like, I still gotta face that grumpy dude. God, it's so much work. I gotta get up, gotta take care of bodily functions, gotta provide food. It's like a Groundhog Day, over and over and over again, like that movie where it's the same day over and over again. And you tweak and you change things to get a different, you move out of that day. The one component that I was missing was something that I gave to my children, but I never received. And it never clicked to give it to myself. Especially for those of us in the first wave. So we had very rough, especially Gen X. Go outside, don't come back in until dinner time. Don't even come in the house, go drink out of the garden hose is one of the most popular things, going around the internet. Suck it up, don't cry, walk it off, brush it off. We poured bleach on poison ivy, man. Just disinfect that, burn it, stop the pain. It's gone. Good. All right, get up, go do something. You want to cry? I got to give you something to cry about. It's hard knocks life. But we learn from that. We didn't want to be that way with our children. And an example, I had one child. Out of 6, one child who threw a fit in Walmart. She laid down on the floor, started screaming. I got nothing but time. See, I chose poverty instead of working my way up the ladder to make too much money. So, my most valuable asset, my most valuable resource was time. I had plenty of it. This child's not hurting me. Regardless of what the adults in the environment might think, she's not hurting anybody. She just laying in the middle of a hard-ass floor, screaming her head off. It doesn't bother me. She stopped. She wiped her tears. She said, I'm sorry, Mommy. We went on with our day. Shit happens. That's life. We get upset. I didn't take it personally, so she didn't have to judge herself for it. And I had infinite patience all the time in the world. Absolutely indifferent. Not in a cold way. I cared. She knows I care. It was just acceptance. That's what it is. Ease of endless acceptance. And I gave that to my children. Now I'm going to cry because it's true. But I never gave it to myself. And what triggered this awareness was, like, I started to fall back into the, oh my God, I gotta deal with these circumstances again. Why does everything have to be work? I'm living in a camper during the day, so I have to haul the water, heat up the water. Don't just flush the toilet. I gotta take care of that some other way. Everything is effort. Everything is efforted. And so you fall into, oh my God, I gotta get up and do this. I just had the night sweats. I'm achy. I'm exhausted. I just want to eat, go back to sleep, but I can't do that because nothing is that simple. And so you just fall back into depression, or I do. And then I remembered, you know, guiding meditation for other people while nursing a child, or those times when you're sitting somewhere, maybe listening to a lecture. It used to be church services of one sort or another, and you're just rocking the child, or you're talking with friends. You're at a family gathering or with friends, and you're just rocking the child. And half an hour goes by, the child's already fallen asleep, and you're still rocking. There's no effort. It's just subconscious. This is what the child needs. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do other things. The child's getting what they need. And then I remembered finally reaching the point where it was always the freaking men, no offense, but they'd have to have the last word. They'd be walking down the road, and there are women who do this too. I've seen them. I've seen you. And I've sat there and I've said, oh, honey, you're going to get hit, then you're going to cry abuse. Man says he needs to go for a walk, and you're just behind him, going at him, going at him, going at him. I can see how these women get hit. But these men, they do it. And I just wish that I had like a foghorn, megaphone, something, just be louder than them, because they will not stop. It just, something goes on autopilot. Well, I found my autopilot too. And it was effortless, endless indifference. Yeah, I'm accountable. Yep. Yeah, I'm responsible for everything else in the world. Yep. And I could scream at the top of my lungs. Every time they yelled, I could yell. But they were putting all their emotional energy into it. And I was just like, no, yeah. Just to give them what they need. Keep them moving till they're out of earshot. And I realized I can turn that inward. That effortless acceptance. It's a bottomless pit. I accept it. This is part of the process. I need time to allow other aspects of me to catch up to this elevated experience that I've had. And so now it's not coming in. The depression, the frustration, the aggravation, the diminishing perspective of my circumstances, like, oh, it could be so much better, I did this wrong, I did that wrong, this is why I'm in this situation. No, this is a part of our development. You reach that stage, and now time needs to pass for everything else to catch up. That's not a problem. Nobody's done anything wrong. I'm safe. I'm happy. I have everything that I need. And so it's no longer annoying. I don't get frustrated. I don't have all those feelings and experiences that I used to have it. Okay, so I have to wait 5 minutes before I can rest. But I can still rest because I gave myself the gift of time. The rest of the world could call me whatever it wants. It could judge my choices in this life. It doesn't matter. They're gonna do it anyway. If I was wealthy, people would sit there and they would say, oh, a wealthy person like that isn't capable of empathizing with somebody like me. No matter where you are in life, people are going to complain. Endless acceptance. It is what it is. Great for them. That's them setting limitations to how far they're going to go and the amount of love that they can embody for the rest of humanity. That's their limit. That's as far as they can go. I can only run so far, especially nowadays. But that's my limit. I can't push myself past it. It's not going to happen. I'll have a heart attack. I'll collapse. There's just no possible way to push me past that limit. And there's going to be the same thing going on with people able to accept other people. And especially my level of delight, my acceptance, my air of innocence. There are people that just, they don't even accept that in children. I was accused as a child of being conniving, manipulative. Like, I grew up in Catholic school. I had to be the perfect little child. I wouldn't know how to manipulate anything, and I'd feel guilty and be all over my face before I even tried. It's like, I just don't have the capacity, but it was attributed to me, and there's nothing that I could do about that. So I just accepted it. All right, I'm grounded for the next month. Yep, all right, that's okay. I like to be by myself in my room playing with my toys anyways. Who cares? Wander in the woods. Darn. Oh, I can't go into town. Can't do after school stuff. Darn. So, I'm thinking maybe there are probably more people in these first waves of embodying this higher potential of human evolution. We're evolving. Our DNA is actually changing. We reroute our neural pathways when we connect different thoughts that weren't able to connect before. And so our programming in our body has to change. And when we do that, we change the people around us too, because especially if we're blood related, our DNA, well, every other DNA, it's called DNA. I'm trying to combine words all together to make it faster because it's like, woo, they're in my head, why do I need so many words? Quantum entanglement of common DNA. And I had picked up a long time ago about that. That's why they don't want empowered women to have more than one child by more than one person, because we just affect that many more families. Our consciousness just spreads like a disease. Which can be said the same for, a less desirable consciousness. You get a loose woman who's just hateful of herself and hateful of everybody around her. And if her ability to hate herself is more steadfast and stronger than somebody else's ability to love themselves, well then yes, evil is going to win over good every time. So that's just another factoid you can put out there, potential factoid in your experience. But yeah, because my children have had the effortless acceptance applied to them, and especially I had girls, and there are people who have found the same way. Like, I was like, oh no, not girls, they're so emotional. Oh, how do you have so many girls? They were easy till it came to my son. It could be partially that he was the youngest and he had nothing but sisters, and he was keenly aware of that. But he also had a really hypersensitive sense of just. What is just? This is not just. This is not right. And I mean, I had to. He didn't just take insults. He could take implications. Like, if I'm frustrated, well, Mom, that means you're saying that I'm, and it's just like, well, I'm not, but yeah, and so I have to be overly, it's not even overly, that's unfair to say that. I had to be just as sensitive and intuitive to what is truly just and the implications of every perception that I had. So he refined me. His presence, in my experience, refined me intensely. But the next generation had the gift of that. So they just had to build on what they were born with, and then we added to it. They had the package we had. We blessed them with more, And so they get to move on more quickly. And so on down the generations if the pattern continues. And so the following waves will move faster. And so a lot of us who were in the first wave, who, were the ones to pave the path, take the hard road, learn and apply all the different practices, that was our kids' starting point. They just had to go on from there. It's like, I paved the path and goddamn motherfuckers, what you doing up here already? Well, you paved the path. We walked it. And we made it smoother for the people behind. Holy shit, 3 generations back is here and I'm still pouting because, my mother never loved me. So giving that endless acceptance to myself and my circumstances is just going to be so valuable in helping me reach and maintain that embodiment, because year after year I would get a more expanded embodiment, even more clarity on things, and then it's just like a light going, it's in there somewhere. I know it's in there, and I'll lament like, I know I had these moments of clarity. I know I'm capable of being a bigger person than this. I know that there's a time I was not afraid of this. This did not intimidate me. This did not make me feel like a failure. This did not, where is that? Why is that not here now? Well, it's because during the in-between phases, I didn't give myself easy acceptance. And so I can feel the lengthening, because the lengthening of that experience. I'll complete my sentences for you. Just ride the wave of intuition with me, man. Keywords, that's all I should need to say. So it lengthens more every day, because another aspect of me that I would have insulted unknowingly, not had the patience for, judged, ignored, refused to acknowledge, whatever I did to myself, it's just being met with easy acceptance. And so now all those experiences, those elevated experiences, can come in, and I don't know, how would you picture that? It's like, I had this elevated experience and then it went away, but it's still in there somewhere. And so they can all blossom in me now. Like the petals of a flower. That's a cool illustration. Like all these petals, like they start to bloom and close, and then they can all open together. There's an illustration. That might work. I'm sure you'll come up with your own. But I thought I'd share that for fellow evolvers who might be wondering what the heck is going on, why they have these great experiences and then they go away and we feel like we're never going to see him again. You can't see him again. Easy acceptance. If you can give it to somebody else, you can give it to yourself. That's because we're used to giving all the love to everybody else and not saving any for ourselves. We might have learned how to save some love for ourselves, but not acceptance. So there you go. May it be a gift you give to yourself as well, if you so choose.